We have quite a beast here. It's an old Trek, one of the aluminum models. It's got all kinds of paint issues. We're not going to do much with that other than maybe clear coat it, try to clean it up, get rid of that rust, maybe clear coat that. Clean up these brakes. Look at this. This thing is a mess. It's a mess. That'll be an easy cleanup. All that mess. We got broken spokes over here. More than just broken spokes. We pulled out that little grommet or whatever that goes in there. So we are talking about a new wheel here. These seem to work okay. The shifters seem to work okay. But yeah, we got some cosmetic stuff going on with this bike that we don't like. But the rear wheel is fine. That's totally workable. Front one we're gonna have to replace, but we've got one up here somewhere. Got one I think right here. That'll probably do. So we'll get this guy back in shape. He won't look fantabulous, but he will be better than he is now. So we'll take a look. So I'm back with this bike again. I'm at the next stage here. I've taken all the components off of the frame and I've learned more about the bike. I've taken these cable stops off. We had a problem there. This is a bike that's been out in the rain quite a bit, so I had some trouble with these. As you see, I had to get something on there and pull that out. One of them broke, and so I had to drill it out and rethread inside there with a tap set that I have, a metric tap set, and it worked out okay. So I got lucky there. I didn't have to buy new cable bosses. Those are 30 bucks for a set, and they probably won't even be the right ones. They kind of work, but these are the right ones, the originals, and they work. So that was a success. This is a bike that's testing some of my lesser used skills, but I don't usually have to do some of these things. I'm going to show you something here. This is some bubbling up on of the paint that you'll see on aluminum frames from time to time. And what we have here is I don't know what the technical term for it is, but steel rusts, but aluminum bubbles. And what we have here, what would I do with this to avoid more damage from happening? Because what's happened is water's gotten under the paint, stayed there for a long period of time, and developed this sort of layer of I don't know, white rust, whatever it is. This is when aluminum oxidates. It rusts too, but the rust is, like I said, I don't know if they call it rust, but this white stuff is what aluminum turns into. And we don't have any structural damage to the bike here, but we do need to get rid of those bubbles everywhere where we find them on the frame. So this bike is going to end up being, for someone who's not too squeamish about the appearance of things and can understand that measures were taken to protect the bike again. What I'm going to do is as you see, I'm scraping this stuff off, but I'm also going to sand it down, and then I'm probably going to cover a large portion of the frame with clear coat paint, just clear paint to protect that, to keep water from getting in there. So whenever you see these bubbling things, don't be shy, get a scraper, scrape off the paint, get that off of there, because you don't want it staying there, because you can have a situation where it goes all the way through the frame, and we don't have that here. This stuff bubbles out quite a bit and it doesn't take much off the aluminum, so we don't have any structural damage to this bike, but we have some cosmetic damage, and we're just going to deal with that. We got it right here too, and some other places. So yep, the next time you see this bike, you'll have it clear coated, and all this stuff that I've been talking about will be taken care of, and we'll get this bike back on the road pretty soon. So all right, I'm back here with this Trek 1400 aluminum road bike that I've taken apart. I talked earlier about all the white powdery stuff that I had to knock out of there, clean that up. So I've cleaned it up, and I put clear coat paint on everything. So I've sanded this down, made sure there's no more bubbles, big bubbles, pockets of that white powdery stuff. That's the aluminum getting oxidized. Everything is nice and smooth. These are just cracks in the chainstay guard. That's the sticker. So cracks in the sticker there. But yeah, everything is covered. Everything is protected. Everything is in good shape. There's no cracks in this frame. Everything is looking real good. So, you know, when I do stuff like this, I don't go for perfection because that's going to cost more than the bike's going to be worth. It isn't worth it to have a frame like this professionally painted. You're going to look at more money getting a decent paint job than you are what the bike will be worth. So I don't go for perfection on these things. I go for protection. So it's protected and the frame is sound and it's solid and there's nothing wrong with it. I got the forks over here. Same thing on them, but they didn't have, because these are, I believe these are steel. These might not be steel. They are not steel. These are also aluminum. I didn't have any of that bubbling up on these, but I did have some chip paint, so I put clear coat on it. Anyway, there it is. I'll show it to you again when it's all built up, when I got all the parts back on it. I got to clean up my derailleurs and my brakes. I've got my chain all degreased and re-oiled a little bit. Got the crankset and the free hub or the free-wheel all cleaned up. The seats cleaned up as well as I'm going to do it. I might switch out seats. I don't know. I still got to work on the pedals. And here's all my little parts. I've been through a grapple rust. So everything's there. So when I show you the bike again, it'll all be built. Okay, so I've finished cleaning up and fixing up this Trek 1400. It's really nice and clean. Everything is working really well on it. It sounds great. And yeah, it's a beautiful bike. I put a nicer seat on it. The shifters are working really well. It's got new ball bearings and new cones in here. In addition to grease, new grease in the headset. The rear hub was just fine. Didn't need any service, except for a little bit of adjustment. Everything got cleaned up and put back on this bike. And it's going to give somebody another several seasons of fun on a bike. Quite an improvement from when I found it. Looking pretty sad before, and now it is ready to go. This bike is going to be brilliant on the road. Thank you.